What is going on, everyone? Commodore Lads here today, bringing you guys my live reaction of the Haikyu manga chapter 368. Now, the chapter's been out since yesterday. Shout out to the Visual Course for providing chapters week in and week out, because performing God's work as they should be. And listen, I said last night I wasn't able to get a chance to record the video and everything because I honestly was mentally and physically exhausted from work during the weekend. I posted a bunch of stuff on the weekend saying about it, and it was for the best because honestly, if I had sat down and wanted to read Haikyu last night, I would have been basically Hinata at the end of 364, and then pretty much the majority of 365. I wouldn't be able to read the chapter properly, seeing I was practically half dead inside. So I want to wait until today at the very least, so I am more rejuvenated, ready to go. Best way to start the morning on a Monday, get the Haikyu in. But at the same time, that depression is probably going to kick back in, knowing the fact that this match has practically ended after what we just saw of, Hoshimi coming in, get the last shot on Ishinoya. Tanaka thought he was going to get it, and then it's just too much for him. And I saw some people saying, too, that maybe they think that it's going to be a pullback, Hoshimi has, arm on the net or something. And listen, I highly doubt that's going to be the case. The match is practically done. If Udate decides to do something like that, it's going to irk me a bit, just for shock value and such. So I don't think that's the case scenario. Karasuno has lost this match. There's no way I knew, even with Hinata there, I still was fully believing that Commodore was going to win this matchup regardless, because they're clearly the better side. They're max Date Tech's level team. We knew just how good that they were, but again, with Hinata being out, that was the final nail in the coffin that just led to Commodore win the matchup. But anyways, we gotta see what chapter has to have in store for me. Otherwise, I'm gonna be a wreck for the rest of the week. So without further ado, let's get into it. Chapter 368 of the Haikyu. Let's get into it, man. Alright. So seeing the ball comes right down as it's hitting the ground. And just like that, man, just shows right there with the score, 25-23. What will you become? Oh, man. Set count, 2-1. Yep, it's a wrap. No net touch or nothing. Commodore just won. You see right there, Daichi's looking up at the score and completely falls. It's literally the feeling of you've fallen back to earth, basically, because you've been on such an adrenaline high for the amount of time that you've been there in nationals and stuff, and that's that feeling right now, man. It's over. All the adrenaline this man has felt in the course of those few days, knowing that his team just lost right there, man, that's it. I want to feel bad for these guys too, man, but he gets started up slowly. Let's see, Sai, Suga, and Daichi all coming together. The fact that they were able to at least keep back, they're saying they're keeping the composure now, but it's gonna get to the sad stuff, isn't it, later? National Spring Volleyball Tournament, quarterfinal round eliminated. Thank you for the game. You see Hinata and then Yachi over there. He's gonna feel that weight for such a long time, man. I know that feeling very well, man. The fact that you weren't able to be there to support your team because, again, you're dealing with your own problems and stuff. And then it comes back into your mind afterwards that you feel like you're the reason why you were able to help them get to the next round. Even though they're not going to fault him, obviously, because, again, it's a sickness. You can't do anything about it. But for him, it's if I had taken better care of my body the last few days, there would have been a chance I could have still been on the court at the very least. And, maybe try to fight out one more day in hopes of maybe going to the semifinals. So for a fact that this is going to be big for Hinata, where in terms of going into the second year, I can definitely see his body improving to the point where, he's going to be more healthier. He's going to be more immune to any type of not like he's gonna be like, not gonna be sick or anything like that, but he's gonna be at the point where his body's so healthy that he's gonna avoid things like that. Like he realizes, let's say he gets sick or something, bam, it's rest. Like that's first and foremost. Like if he knows that he needs to rest up to get ready for a matchup, he has to take that chance, to heal up rather than something bad happening after the fact. But the fact that like you're seeing right now and the way like his mind is at the moment, like him looking down, it's like things shouldn't have happened this way, but it's life. It happens, man. Things come out and stop you in your tracks, and it's up to you to figure out a way to be able to get through the obstacle that's right in front of you. And you see the rest of the team afterwards going out to shake hands and everything. Coach is shaking hands. Kyoko-chan walking with the rest of the squad. And I love how she's right there with the third years, because with her, Suga, Asahi, and Daichi, man, it's like those four are gonna be gone right after. Keep your mental composure, please. I can't, dude. They bow to the court as they say their goodbyes, man. I love how no one's even crying this. That's how you know how much it right now it bugged them that they weren't able to get them to the at least the center courts as they're saying goodbyes. And you see right now driving into those who are the first and second years. And Kageyama watching on too, looking on. Good game, guys. Shout out to Kudo and Bokuto, man. What Kenma did for Hinata, he was doing for them because of how long he's known them. Bokuto going into a hug for Daichi. You see the impact too of it as well as the shockwave and everything. You see the twins. If you're going to say that results are everything, then I guess that means all the third years here who lose are, well, nothing, right? And me, I'm not playing volleyball no more after high school. Oh, don't say that, man. So, am I gonna evaporate then? Vanish into thin air like poof? Nah. Nah, you can't do that to me, Kita. Look, I love my boy. You have to play volleyball. I don't care. Listen, I've lost Tendo. The man probably is gonna be working at a cabaret club like he's my boy Majima from Yakuza. I can't have that for you as well. Like, I need you to at least be happy. If you're with your Obachan and stuff, fine. Take care of her. But I need you to be happy doing something at the very least, not being a NEET. There's no problem being a NEET, but I need you to prosper. I didn't mean that way. Really. If you're just here to compete, then I guess there's nothing wrong with saying results are everything, and maybe playing a good game is ultimately meaningless if you don't win. But sweeping the floors, catching a stray ball, doing a billion squats, and eating a good solid filling meal afterwards. That's how we grow and build our bodies. Even if I didn't get the win, I did build a whole lot of muscle. The world can throw anything at me. The world can throw anything it wants at me. Now, I ain't afraid. The world can throw anything it wants at me. I'll still be afraid of Kita-san. Shout out to my boy. That's my captain. All right, we stand. Takanoe-san, is Hinata? He's at the hospital right now. Once he's done there, he'll go straight back to the hotel. Okay, thank you. He'll be fine. Well, I can't say one way or another about his health, but for now at least, I'm sure that Hinata-kun hasn't given up, not in the least. He looks back on the court and stuff. They're advertising Pocari Sweat. I finally learned, by the way, what Pocari Sweat was for the longest time. That never getting bought. If Shoyo hadn't never seen you on that TV that day. Hold on. Wait. A thought just ran through my mind just now because I highly doubt this is the last time we're gonna see Tenma in such kind of a focus and stuff. It just crossed my mind. Could there also be the possibility that we saw in the first year, the grandfather for Yukai and stuff was taking care of Hinata, helping him with his training and stuff? Think of in the realm of possibility that we could get Tenma helping out Hinata at some point. He retired from the game, allegedly. He's done with the game. But you gives the kid some pointers at the very least. And I'm thinking, that would be an interesting way to keep him in the story, to at least like do something like that. So at least like Hinata can learn from the guy that made him want to take a volleyball in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Get something good. If Hinata had never seen you on that TV that day, he never would have chosen to bike over a mountain to go to Karasuno, and he never would have met Tokyo. That bounce back. So my boy, every day he goes across that damn mountain. It takes half an hour to an hour just to get to school because how much he wanted to play for Karasuno. If that ain't dedication, I don't know what it is, man. I guess I might have been a monster then, huh? I kind of like that. It was Karasuno's number 10 injured. I hear it was nasty fever. Well, really? That sucks. Poor guy. Yeah. Poor for him for getting sick, and poor Karasuno for losing him right then. Yo! Oh my God! He's here! Yo, please give me at least one match. Like, if I have to leave Nationals knowing that Karasuno's not going through anymore, please, for the love of God, at least give me something with Itachiyama, man. Like, this is, like, the team I view as Ichiban, like, number one in the whole series right now. That is going to be the obstacle that Karasuno has to prevail to get to the championship. Bar none, it's them. And clearly has to be by next year, because after, like, the second year, Sakuza's going to go off to college, probably play for the national team and all that, but, man, give me something with my guy, Say, for instance, a tiny meteorite suddenly fell from the sky right now. Is that him saying that? Say, for instance, a tiny meteorite suddenly fell from the sky right now. Say that meteorite bonks somebody on the head, just to be nice to the guy and help as much as you can. Nothing else is necessary. If you're going to stand around talking loudly to each other and how you pity him, then I felt even sorrier for him. Nothing sucks worse than people telling you, "You poor thing." Wait. Whoa. So Iizuna, wait, they lost their match? Court C boys quarterfinals, they lost. Inobushi 2, Itachiyama 1. What? Either the guy got hurt or something, because I mean, clearly he's coming off the court, but it might be because of the shock of the loss stuff. Are you telling me there's another team that... Oh my God, they just... Yo, what is going on? I don't know how I should feel about it, because it's like... Oh man, yo. Ferdate, please. No, what are you doing to me? I just finished... Bro, I've been hyping up these guys. And all of a sudden, you tell me there's a team out the woodworks that just came out of nowhere and actually managed to beat the champs? Well, this second year is going to be ridiculous. Because now they're going to probably be considered the second favorites. And Urazaki's probably going to go down a peg. Commodore is going to definitely go up a peg because of what happened now. How old is it? Wait, Tsukasa Iizuna didn't say anything about his age, but he's the setter for the team and the captain. Boys quarterfinals 2-1. So they won the first set 25-22. Then they got 25-20 and then 29-27. And you see, I guess that's the team right there that they faced off against. Wow, I can't believe it. Itachiyama lost. None of this year's top 3 hitters made it past the quarterfinals. Bro, do you understand how ridiculous Nationals is going to be next year? Like, this one in general is already nuts because the fact that the 3 aces didn't even get to the semifinals, to the final 4. Do you know how crazy that sounds? It's almost like if a new age just got created, basically, for the next year. And that whoever remains right now has a chance to solidify themselves as the top team going into next year. Oh goodness, Itachiyama lost. What a pity for Sakuza. Yes, I would have loved to see more of his play, see Coach Fuki. But the hundreds of players participating in this tournament, there's one experience they all share. That's losing. No one makes it this far without tasting defeat. But even for the one lucky team that escapes that bitter experience this time and wins this tournament, they'll lose to another, better team eventually. No matter how high you climb, there is always a better team. Bro, I need to see what this Inubushi is, because if you were able to stop my GOAT, even though I've barely seen the series, and I still think he's the top of the aces, and still probably going to be the top player in Japan, unless this Inubushi guy is like a first year and he's like absolutely like a god, then I don't know, man. Fedodate, for some reason, man, might be a wizard after all. It's only those brave enough, those bold enough to follow the difficult, demanding path of competition who have the right to reap the wealth of experience and memories it brings, that they can bring. For today, you happen to be the defeated. You see all the squads coming in together and stuff. Karasuno, Nakama, Itachiyama, Narazaki, Tate Tech. You see Ushijiba, little parts of Tendo right there. Bokuto still in the competition, he's getting himself ready. Oikawa, the back of his head, like I hope I get to see a little bit more of him in the second year. I understand he's going off to college and everything, but for the love of God, give me more of the genius himself. I see Hinata walking right now off the hospital and stuff with Yachi and them. But what will you become tomorrow? Wait, it says here, wait, when's the 11th? We're getting early, yo. I need to stand up for a sec. And just give myself some good compose. Because, listen, first of all, first half of the chapter, we knew this was something I had to expect at the very least, right? We had to expect that we're going to see some form of sadness and stuff. But the fact that they were able to keep their composure at the very least, at the end and stuff, and again, granted, we haven't had the dinner and stuff, so they're probably going to be letting out their tears, and so will I. And that's the scary part of it all. It's probably going to be on Friday and stuff, so I have to prepare for that. But the second half of the chapter, Jesus Lord, Itachiyama actually lost, though. Like, this Inubushi team, we're getting the second year. It's already a guarantee at this point. But now it's like the guys I thought were going to be the defending champions going into next year. And the worst part is, if it's an Inubushi team, I'm just thinking in my mind now, because now that's my focus. Like, this is my focus now. The fact that you did this to Itachiyama and everything. Whoever this team is, for one, I think might have to be comprised of first years, because let's say you go beyond the second year and you go third year or something. These are going to be Hinata's rivals for the next couple of years, possibly. That he's going to have to look forward to facing, year in, year out. But, the fact that they lost. And then the whole thing, of course, with, Tenma and stuff. I firmly believe that he's going to have some kind of role to play with Hinata's development in his time to becoming, the true ace of Karasuno afterwards. Like, when it comes to being, their top guy, I feel like the final training and stuff of getting to that level might come from Tenma, or it might come from the sense of, let's say he gets invited to, the call-up for the Japan national team or such, that maybe something like that happens after and that helps grow for Hinata. Clearly after this offseason coming up, the kid's going to be absolutely a maniac preparing himself. That's no question. After what transpired in today's matchup, it's a guarantee he's going to be going crazy to try and make sure that he's at peak condition to go back and get them over the hump and then hopefully to a championship run. But goddamn it, and then he had to give me that Kita thing saying he's not gonna play after high school and stuff. I already lost my boy Tendo. He can't do that to me now, my captain. But if that's what he wants, I respect it. And then I feel like this double spread though right here, I'm looking back on with Daichi and them, bowing at the court. That's a feeling that's gonna stick inside the minds of the first and second years for quite a long time. The fact that they were one game away from at least getting to the center court that they wanted to check out. Or at least be able to say that they wanted to have it, the experience of being able to play on it. The fact that they were able to get them there, man, that's going to eat them away, I know, going into the off season. And that's going to be, hopefully the motivation that's going to allow them to, try and grow in those areas that they were, weak in or, weren't enough to try and go over Commodore. Because, again, Hinata being there, I think, would have helped make the difference, even though I still felt confident I could have won the matchup even with him there. But they're definitely going to look at their own weaknesses and trying to, improve in them going into the next year. But what will you become tomorrow? I don't know, man. I just know that Hinata right now, with this panel, looks so determined. Like, whatever comes up for him, man, like, that he has to face, he's going to be ready to go. And I love how it's so reminiscent to Volume 24's cover, in a way, but also reminiscent to, when he was on the bike and stuff, like, going around, like, the mountains as he was, like, training and everything. It feels like one of those panels, too, which I love those from Furudate Sensei, so... Man, so we're getting early chapters this week on Friday, which is very, very good to see. Yeah, this was a really good chapter. I'm probably going to go lean towards maybe like an 8 out of 10 for such. Like, it was very good in the sense of what it helped establish essentially for what's to come later in the future. Because now you gave me another team that's probably going to be one of the preliminary favorites moving forward, alongside with Itachiyama, Commodore, etc., and Irizaki, of course, there as well. I don't know if we're going to stick around with Bokuto and them. Maybe we're going to get like an afterthought, which if that ends up being the case, I can understand for a lot of people that's going to suck, and that's something that they wanted to see at least Bokuto playing. But I don't know if that's going to be the focus now. I think now it's going to be seeing what's going on with Hinata and them, the goodbyes for the third years, and then prepare for second year and such. But if we do get to see something with Bokuto, or at least get to see some parts of what happens at the end of Nationals, which give us like, some kind of outlook as to what to expect coming up in the second year, that's fine. But 8 out of 10 this week. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about this week's chapter of Haikyu. There's things in the chapter you want to kind of like talk about a little bit more than talk about in this week's chapter. Let me know down in the comments. Like the video if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. If you want to be part of the weekly experience when it comes to my coverage of the weekly experience of the Haikyu manga, week in and week out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the bell, Shandora, stay up to date with everything that goes on the channel. And that being said, chapter 369 on Friday. At the very least, we're getting early chapter, which is very nice. But if it's going to be the dinner that's going to lead to a lot of tears being shed, then I look forward to sharing my state of depression with all of you guys then. So, Commodore Lad signing off. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, take care. Going crazy, yeah, we going crazy. I'm with the team, yeah, yeah.